last first game, does it feel any different?
No. I mean, it's always anticipation for the first game. Just excited to get out there and see how we look. We've been playing against each other all offseason, so ready to play another opponent.
Is excitement the dominant thing that you're feeling right now, or is there anything else?
Definitely. I mean, I've been feeling encouraged just how we've been practicing and playing. I mean, we seem like a team that's been playing hard and listening to the coaches, so I'm excited to see if we can carry that on to the first game of the season.
How much of that excitement is the fact that the last taste was Virginia in Greensboro, you guys didn't make the tournament, and you're just so ready to have something new and different on the basketball court?
Yeah, I mean, well, all season it's been great just having a bunch of new guys and different faces in the locker room. And, I mean, it's just been great having so many new guys because we kind of just flushed last season and really haven't even thought about it at all because, I mean, the guys on the team really haven't been through that. Only a few of us was a part of that, so it's just been great just and refreshing.
Armando, how important are these first 3 games at home kind of for establishing continuity? I know you all, been together during the summer, even the last few months, but just how those first 3 games, how important is that?
I mean, it's huge that we take care of business, especially, more of the like first 5 guys to give those other guys off the bench more playing time and have an opportunity to get acclimated. I think last year we didn't do a good job of handling business early on in the season, and it didn't allow those guys to get those minutes early on versus teams, I guess, not as good as teams we play in the ACC and things like that, to allow them to be able to play in those later games and be ready. So I think we just got to come up with an emphasis of just playing as good as possible and playing for those other guys too so they can get opportunity.
I was going to say, following up on that, is that I know it's always important to win the games, but how important is to play well? Why?
I mean, it's huge because you want to start building those good habits now and not thinking we can just turn it on at a certain point of the season, but kind of just playing like that throughout the beginning and then carrying it on to the end.
Armando, some people would consider you a UNC legend.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know Walter Davis at all? Had you met him at any point?
Coach Davis talks about him a lot, so that's kind of how we knew him, and I know it was probably tough for him just, and the whole UNC family kind of would have him.
What did he say about him when you talked about it?
I mean, he would always say, like, that's why he wanted to come to UNC, and I mean, I guess without Walter Davis, we wouldn't have Coach Davis here at UNC and want to take on the challenge to come to UNC when Coach Smith told him he wouldn't ever play here. I think just kind of his uncle playing here kind of inspired him to kind of push through and fight through.
Have you seen that full 8 points and 17-second comeback before?
Yes, I have. That was impressive.
Armando, for people who weren't here for the exhibition last Friday, who's the new face on the team that you're most excited for fans to see play in a Tar Heel uniform?
Well, I mean, if you're just talking based off that game, I guess you could probably say like Creighton Lebo, but I don't want to put too much stock into that game. But I mean, we all played good and we handled business and we didn't play down the competition. So I think that was just encouraging. Like I said, just continuing on the good habits because I think it's having those good habits that will make a difference.
Once you guys get into the meat of the season and people are watching game after game, what is one thing that they're going to see that is very different about this group than last year?
I mean, my hope, I don't want to jinx it, but that we play hard. Like I said, I mean, adding in those new transfers, they hungry and they've been doing everything that we've asked for. And I mean, it's just a certain level of trust I think we got this year that I think will make a huge difference, especially keep us consistent all throughout the year and not turn it on at certain points.
Have you felt how that just kind of, has it reinvigorated you? I mean, you've been here a long time, you've been the leader, but have you kind of had to reestablish yourself with those new guys here?
I mean, it's been great. Like I said, I mean, this is probably the closest I've been with a group since I've been here other than maybe my freshman year. And I mean, I love just coming in here every day, practicing and lifting, going out with teammates and all that. So it's been great. And I mean, we seem like a group that really wants to play for each other and win, and I think that's encouraging.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, I don't know. I think we all just in similar situations. I mean, we got a lot of transfers coming from situations they didn't like and they want to win. And obviously, everyone that was here last year wants to win. I think we all kind of have that agreement and kind of have that amongst us that we know we have one goal.
Kind of going off of that, from an on-court, stylistic perspective, what makes this year's team unique to the other teams that you've been part of in those last 4 years?
I mean, I think we deeper. I think it's like this year, actually, we have guys that'll have to play. Like Jalen Washington, we'll have to play him. He's been amazing all offseason. I mean, I think that'd be huge for me. James, too. I mean, both of them have been great. Y'all seen Zayden. He can really play. Obviously, Elliott. with his passing ability and the way he can control things. And then we got also guys like Jalen Withers, obviously with his athleticism experience. Seth has been great all offseason. We kind of battling stuff, but he's back. So excited for him. And I mean, just everybody. I think we got a good group of guys.
RJ said at ACC tip-off that he's had to change a little bit of his leadership style, just sort of get out of his comfort zone a little bit. With so many new faces on the team, have you found that you've had to do the same thing, change up your leadership style a little bit just because there's been so much turnover?
Yeah, I mean, somewhat. I mean, I've been kind of the same, me just being as vocal as possible, but also just trying to take a lot of the younger guys under my wings and kind of lead them away and keep them from some of the things that I did my freshman year and just kind of trying to help them with that. But I mean, we got an old team. I mean, I saw something on Twitter today, like, average is like 22.9 or something like that years. So we got a lot of guys that have been there. And, I mean, it's not much I can really say to a guy like Cormac or Paxton or Jalen who's been through it all and they kind of know how to work with it. So, I mean, it's been great having a lot of older guys, too.
I was going to ask if leading is easier in a sense because these guys are kind of self-led as well. And we have 5 guys on our roster that were captains last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that's huge because like it's one of those things where like we're in practice and coach can say one thing and that's all it'll have to be versus like maybe last year not coach having to repeat things and kind of the message not getting out there. I think now like coach he just tells us one thing and we go out there and do it.
I was going to ask, last year, obviously your preseason #1. I don't know if you felt the burden of that going into the season. Is it different this year? Let's just go out and play and see what happens. Let's see how many games we go.
Yeah, I mean, this year, like I said, we're just hungry. Last year, I mean, we felt we were that good. We weren't that good, so that's just really all that happened.
Armando, you missed Brady last year on the court, but he supposedly was one who would say things to the team off the court in the locker room, maybe more than anybody else would. Is there anybody on the team that has replaced him from that standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, Brady was just kind of weird, honestly. He would just have, I don't know how much he would say. He would just start flipping out and kicking chairs and stuff like that. And, I mean, having a guy like that, it was definitely great for us because, I mean, it was something to laugh at, but also, too, we kind of felt where he was coming from and it got us going. But, I mean, I'll probably say Cormac is close to that. He's done a few crazy things so far, but, I mean, it's been great for us.
In the exhibition, you guys were switching a lot. Do you anticipate doing that most of the season, and how has the defensive approach changed?
Yeah, I mean, this year we got a lot of athleticism on the wing and at the 4 position, too. I mean, with Pete, we could definitely switch, too, but he was also such a good shot blocker, so we kind of wanted to ice and keep him to the rim. But we got guys like Jalen Withers and Zayden High and Harrison who aren't as, like, 6'11", 7 feet like Pete, so we're allowed to switch more on the guards and trust them guarding out there. So it's been great having those athletic, smaller guys.
What are some of those crazy things Cormac's done?
I mean, just all the time. Like, he's just so competitive, and I mean, it's great. Like, he might miss a shot and get mad and start yelling, or I mean, get beat on the backdoor court. I mean, get beat on the backdoor cut and get upset about that. And I mean, it's just good having guys like him that like really cares about doing good.
Armando, have you been surprised at Harrison's ability to be sort of like a small ball 4? Like, I don't know. I think some people thought he would just be sort of a wing dude when he got here. Like, is that caught you by surprise?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really sure like how Harrison played. Like, I had an idea. I knew he was a good player, but I didn't know he would be able to kind of do a lot of things he do, and I didn't know he would be that good defensively either. So it's been great having a guy like that. Like, I feel confident with him guarding a 1. I feel confident with him guarding a 5, probably other than me. Like, but every other 5 he can do a good job on. So it's been great having him and the way he passed. I mean, we got a bunch of unselfish guys, so that's been good.
And that seems just to follow up on that, it seems to give you just an extra ball mover out there at that position.
Exactly. I mean, it makes offense way easier because we got 4 guys out there that can create a shot, knock down a shot, but also come off screen and do a lot of things like that. So it just makes us that much more of a threat.
Where would you say Coach Davis is like going into the season compared to the last 2 years?
I mean, I think every year he kind of has the same approach. Like, he's fired up, and he's honestly the same all the time. I think it's just more of us as players to be able to kind of take on his personality and take that on the court with us.
Kind of going off of that, you talked about, obviously last year you guys wrote out the list of the goals you wanted to have. This season he said he kind of laid that out for you guys. Have you maybe noticed a bit more of an assertiveness from him now that he's in his 3rd year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think for him too, this is the first year where everybody that's here, he recruited, so he got a chance to recruit all the guys that he wanted here, and I think that's been good for him. And he's been able to kind of implement a lot of the things that he wants to do and kind of his style of basketball he want to play.
Is there anything you tried to do with all the transfers that came in, like to introduce yourself? Was there like a specific way you tried to go about that with each new guy, or what? How did you approach that?
I mean, I think I'm a pretty good salesman. Like, I kind of give them an idea like how UNC is, and I mean, a university like this is kind of hard to say no to anyway. And I mean, I just try to kind of be an extension of Coach Davis somewhat and kind of let them know what they're getting themselves into. But I'm just glad we got them all.
Armando, if you look at this past journey, past 4 or 5 years, if you could tell yourself one piece of advice going into your freshman season, what would it be?
Probably don't worry, you know. Just kind of let it all play out. I didn't know if I was like good enough. I was gonna be good enough to play in the ACC after my freshman year, but I kind of figured out now I'm good enough.
What advice do you think 10 years from now you would give yourself now, going into this year?
Well, 10 years from now? Man, I don't know. Yeah, probably something like that, yeah.
I guess I can add to it. You've grown so much.
Yes.
And not just how you deal with us, but in a lot of ways. So based on how you think you're growing, what?
I'll probably say just like cherish these moments, because I mean, everybody always comes back and say like how much they miss being here and just how much it meant for them, and like kind of how it was like somewhat at the peak of their life. So just kind of cherish this last year and just bring in everything.
How would you measure how much this team from last year to this year has improved with shooting? That obviously was such a issue last year, and it seems like this could be a really good shooting group.
I mean, shooting, that's like a hard subject to touch on just because like in the offseason everybody looked good shooting. So really, I mean,
that's a good point.
It just matters really like once the lights cut on for real. I mean, I got the highest 3-point percentage on the team right now in practice, and
come on,
for real. So I mean, you just never know. Once the lights get on, I guess we'll see. But I mean, we got a lot of guys who've hit shots at a high level, like Cormac, Paxton, Harrison, Jalen Withers. So that is encouraging, just knowing that.
With you and RJ being the lone mainstays with this team and this program, have you guys had any conversations about just like how long you guys have been here, or has your relationship changed any this offseason with you guys being kind of those two guys left?
Yeah, I mean, we've always been close, but I mean, I think it's definitely an understanding between like me and RJ, like this is our last shot, and it's probably the last time me and him ever played together too, so kind of just want to make the best of it.
Armando, I guess I gotta ask me a second ago, you said at first you weren't sure if you'd be ready playing at ACC, whatever. Did you have a moment, either your freshman year, sophomore year, whatever, when you kind of, had that realization of like, okay, I can compete?
Yeah, probably like after my freshman year, like just meeting with Coach Williams and him just telling me like I got to get better or I won't play next year. That's really the main thing, and like I didn't want to transfer, so I knew like, and not luckily, but somewhat luckily, we had a lot of time off with just like COVID and stuff, so it allowed me to get better and be able to like lift more, get stronger, and work on like a lot of my weaknesses, watch a lot of film, and that made a huge difference.
Armando, is it okay, with all the depth that you have, is it okay for you to play only 30 minutes a game this year? And will all help you in a way, because when you're out there, you play as hard as you can for whatever time you have?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be probably glad to play 30 minutes. I'm not sure, like just based on like the first 2 games we played and kind of I know what Coach Davidson want to do. I doubt I'll probably play that much, but really I think it'll definitely be like an adjustment for me not playing as much, just kind of. Because last year I felt like at times I would try to like pick my spots to preserve myself, and I mean y'all know sometimes I get in foul trouble too, so just kind of learning how to like just go hard the whole time and not having to pick spots I think would be great for me.
Does it seem like a lot of guys are going to play from based on?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Armando, obviously,
Last one.
in the national title game, you sprained your ankle, kind of struggled with injuries, whether it's the shoulder or ankle all last season. Do you feel like you're the healthiest you've been in a while? And I guess how has that kind of changed your approach coming into this year?
Yes, I mean, I feel great. Like I've been saying it all offseason. Like last year, really looking back at it, I just didn't think I was all the way healthy all throughout the season. And I mean, this year, Jonas and Doug have done a great job of just like being able to rehab me and get me stronger. And I mean, I've completely changed my whole routine just with everything. So it's been great just feeling healthy and feeling confident in myself. And I think that was a huge part. Like, last year, I mean, my rim protection really like suffered just because I was always just worried about just different things and landing and stuff like that. So I mean, I think this year it'll definitely help me and the team out a lot more, being more healthy.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Armando.